Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the Libra of Souls game mode in Soul Calibur VI. Now, Libra of Souls is a new game mode that follows the story of a character that you create. It has to be one that you create specifically for that game mode. So you start the game mode and then create a character from there. You can't choose any of the already created characters that you've done before selecting this game mode. Now, the let me go over the basics first. The Libra of Souls game mode will allow you to level up your character and complete quests. That's how you get experience to level them up. And then you'll also um, get more weapons that you can choose from. The weapons allow you to fight of that character style. So I have Tira's weapon, the ring, and so when I go to fight, I'll be using Tira's moveset, just like when you make a normal created character. Now these quests are fighting, but they often have special conditions. So you might fight multiple opponents, or you might fight um, on a slippery floor. You might fight where the enemy's verticals do more damage, or they have more defense, things like that. So something to keep in mind is your level, the opponent's level, and the power of your weapons. So as you can see, I'm level 62 and I have 740 health. As you level up, your health will increase and you'll have access to more weapons. Let me show you some of the weapons. It takes a long time to load the weapon menu for some reason. Now, even if you are good with a specific weapon, like I like using Tira, I also like using Geralt, you can see that there's very different power ranges. So a weapon will have a specific power range and a level to equip, level 56, and then it'll have a crit rate. There's also extra bonuses that you can add to it. As you can see, this one has 3 empty slots. So as you go through the game, you'll eventually unlock Bolta's Smithy when you reach that town, and that'll allow you to add weapon enhancements as long as there's an open slot. So this one has 5% experience and it has 2 open slots, so I can add more to it. This one has gold 5% but no open slots, so I can't do anything to it. Just like this one, it's a strong weapon but has no bonuses. Also, when you go to pick bonuses to upgrade your weapon, you can either choose from items that you get to put in these slots, or you can take the bonus from another weapon. So if I wanted to upgrade this weapon, I can either put an item in any of those slots, or I could take one of these already um, enhanced weapons and destroy that in order to add its bonus to this one. So something to keep in mind is, of course, the weapon's power. So the starting weapons, they're only 10. And I don't have any other weapons of certain types. Like Cervantes' weapon, I never got another Cervantes weapon. So if I wanted to use his fighting style, I'd have to use this level 10 weapon. And at this stage of the game, with weapons doing this, I would do really low damage. So you want to keep that in mind when fighting. Look at the opponent's health, look at the conditions, look at their damage, and I highly suggest using multiple weapons or just using higher level weapons. Now, one way to get around this is if you like a specific weapon type, use it during a quest because you're more likely to get that weapon and upgraded, version of that weapon when you complete a quest that grants a weapon. So if I want another Geralt weapon, I would equip this weapon when I go to do a quest that rewards one, and then I'm more likely to get it. It's not guaranteed, but it's from my experience, you're gonna more likely get that particular weapon. Also, there's food and mercenaries. Now, food are just like the weapon bonuses, except they're one-time uses. So if I wanted to use honey, I'd use that before one battle, and then I would lose the honey. If I enhance a weapon with an upgrade, that upgrade is always going to be in that weapon. Now, mercenaries are NPCs, CPU controlled characters when that you can put in place before you fight. So when you go to do a mission, pick a mercenary. They will go and fight before you do. And however much damage they do, or if they win the entire quest, you won't go in until after they lose. So if they don't lose, you win the quest. If they do lose, however much damage they did, however many enemies they defeated, you'll just pick up where they left off. So let's say you did a mission where you had to fight 3 different enemies. Let's say your mercenaries killed 2 of the enemies and took away half health of the last enemy. Well, when it's your turn to fight, you're starting on the last enemy with half health. So this is a great way to make hard quests a lot easier. And mercenaries are also one-time uses. This particular mercenary is level 55, and I actually got this one just by traveling, which I'll go over in a little bit. First, let me go over the actual how traveling works, and then the side quests in towns. So I can choose any of the previous locations or current locations that I am at. The towns you can see are marked by the house symbol. So the 2 towns that are most important in terms of going through the game is this town because it has the recruitment agency and it'll allow you to buy mercenaries. Now as you can see, these levels are not that high, so this is because my town is not leveled up as much. When you the blue icon, as you can see from the sword above there, the blue icon is side quests. Now, if the blue icon is not at your location, you have to choose explore surrounding area. This will take you to this interface and you can choose where you want to go. If you look at the bottom right, you'll see that the further I go, the more gold that it costs. Also, when you try to cross certain terrain like the sea, it adds extra stuff, and then like this, the Himalayas mountains, they will add 20,000 gold to my cost, which is more than what I have. And one thing to combat that is choose a different location to start with. So if I want to do this other side quest to the west, I will go to a closer location that's not going over the mountains. So this one has a clear pathway. I select that, explore surrounding area, go right down, and all it is a 300, well, extra 300 because of the desert, but it's not the extra that I get from trying to go over the mountains. Now, when you select a location to travel to, you'll begin your expedition. On your way, you can get into a random fight. And these random fights will give you more experience and weapons, and that's how I got that level 55 mercenary. I fought a random battle on my way to a location, and then I got a mercenary as a reward. However, if you lose those random fights on your way, you go back to your original location, and the gold that was spent for the expedition is still used up. So you do not want to lose those random fights. But also, if you're getting into multiple random fights, you're going to keep the same health that you got in the previous fight. So you got to keep that in mind before you start each battle. How much health do you have, and if you need to use some type of food to heal you or have a mercenary come out. Now once you reach your final destination, your health will get back to full, so you don't have to worry about trying to start an actual quest at low health. So definitely pay attention to the prices and make sure that if it costs too much, see if there's another angle. And if not, then you probably just have to keep going through the game until you get to a better location. And one more thing about and then the other important town, of course, is the one with the blacksmith, and that's at Kashgar. So when you do quests around Kashgar or in Kashgar, certain quests will level up the town, which gives you access to better weapon enhancements. The last thing that you need to know about is during the course of the game, you'll have dialogue options in the story, and you'll also have important choices to make. If you look at my scales on my character, there's a blue and orange flame. My scales are tipped towards the blue side. Whenever you select any type of good option, that'll tip your scales to the blue side. Any type of bad or evil option, it'll tip your scales to the orange side. Now, besides affecting the story, that also affects weapons slightly. So, as you get leveled up, weapons will you'll start seeing weapons that have the blue or orange flames on them. That doesn't mean that you can't use them. So like I am towards the blue side, but I can still use this orange flame weapon. All it does is it gives you a set bonus. So if I use this weapon, since I'm aligned to the blue side, I get extra crit rate when I use blue flamed weapons. And that's the only thing that it does. It's extra crit rate. It's definitely helpful if you can choose a similar weapon of the same type. You definitely want to, but you're not going to lose anything other than the extra crit rate if you do choose the opposite side. That's all I have for the Libra of Souls guide. I hope this video has been helpful to you and can show you exactly the kind of game mode that you're getting yourself into, the different things you can do. It's also a fairly long game mode. Let me show you real quick. You start at Journey's Dawn, and then you go all the way around throughout the whole land. So it's going to take you quite a while, but now you know exactly how the game mode works, how the leveling and weapons work, and tricks that you can do so you don't end up having the wrong weapon type if you want to use a specific weapon. If you liked the video, then be sure to give a like and subscribe if you can. And as always, thanks for watching.